Welcome back. Today, the story you're about to hear takes place in Riverton, Ohio. My name is Sarah Hayes. I'm 25, and I'm about to tell you how a single text message didn't just break me, it set off a chain reaction that would cost my family everything they'd built their perfect image on. You ever sacrifice what you want for your family, only to discover they've been counting down the days until you're no longer useful? While my brothers and sisters chased degrees and shiny careers, I stayed behind in Riverton after Dad died. Someone had to. The mortgage was underwater, Mom's teaching salary barely covered groceries, and the medical bills from Dad's final year were astronomical. So I took the night shift at Peterson's Frozen Foods, the factory Mom refused to name at family gatherings. I came home at dawn smelling like freezer burn and garlic powder, shoulders aching from lifting 40-pound boxes, but the bills got paid. That's what mattered. What I didn't know, what none of us knew, was that Dad had a life insurance policy. A big one. $340,000 that came through 6 months after his funeral. Mom never told me. She used it to pay off the house, fund Mark's medical school deposit, buy Emma's condo down payment, and set up a trust for Lily's law school. The mortgage I'd been breaking my back to cover? Paid in full before I ever clocked my first overtime shift. I found out by accident. A forwarded email Lily sent me about thanking Mom for her generosity with a PDF attachment of the trust documents. When I called Mom to ask why she'd let me believe we were drowning when we weren't, her answer was simple. You weren't doing anything important with your life anyway, Sarah. At least this way you were contributing something. That was 2 years ago. I swallowed it. Kept working. Kept showing up. Kept telling myself that family meant sacrifice, even when the sacrifice only went one direction. Then came Mother's Day. Mother's Day in Riverton always smelled like cut grass and cheap supermarket flowers. At the factory, it just smelled like industrial refrigeration and the faint chemical tang of cleaning solution. I was on my break, sitting on an overturned crate behind the loading dock, when my phone lit up. Family Hayes group chat. My chest tightened with that pathetic little spark of hope I still hadn't killed. The message from Mom was long and carefully crafted. Mother's Day dinner, successful kids only. Mark, Dr. Hayes, saving lives. Emma, our creative director, making the world beautiful. Lily, our future lawyer. I'm so proud of my accomplished children. Dinner at 6:30. Can't wait to celebrate you. 2 hearts. She tagged Mark, Emma, and Lily. My name wasn't anywhere. Not in the message. Not in the comments that followed, Mark's flexed bicep emoji, Emma's sparkle hearts, Lily's can't wait, Mom. I stared at my phone, refreshing obsessively, waiting for someone to notice. For Mom to add, oh, and Sarah too. For any of my siblings to type, what about Sarah? The typing bubble never came. Instead, my phone buzzed with a separate text from Mom. Hope you understand. Tonight is just about celebrating achievements. You know you're always part of the family. Always part of the family, just not proud enough to be seen. I didn't cry. Something colder happened instead. That thing inside me that had been bending and bending under the weight of their expectations finally snapped clean in half. I took a screenshot. Saved it. And started planning. That night, I couldn't sleep. Instead, I opened my laptop and started digging through old emails, bank statements, family photos. I'd kept everything, years of documentation I'd never thought I'd need. I found receipts showing I'd paid $47,000 toward the mortgage over 2 years, money Mom never reimbursed me for after the insurance payout. Text threads where Mark asked me to cover his car payment just this once. It happened 6 times. Emails from Emma asking for rent money while she got established in her creative career. Venmo requests I'd fulfilled for Lily's textbooks, bar exam prep courses, professional wardrobe. I'd given them over $60,000 in total. Money I'd earned on the night shift while they built their shiny careers. And I found something else, Dad's original will. The one filed with the county clerk before he died. It left everything split 4 ways. Mom was executor, but the insurance policy was supposed to be divided equally among all 4 children. Mom had never filed it. She'd pocketed the whole thing and let me struggle. That's when I realized, this wasn't about revenge. This was about consequences they'd spent years avoiding. I started writing at 2 a.m. By dawn, I had 4,000 words that burned like acid on the page. I titled it, Successful Kids Only, When Your Family Writes You Out of Their Story. I didn't use names. I didn't use the city. But I described everything else, the Mother's Day text, the insurance fraud, the years of financial exploitation disguised as family obligation. I included screenshots with identifying information blacked out. I wrote about dignity, class warfare within families, and the special kind of betrayal that only comes from people who are supposed to love you. I ended with a question: if you discovered your family had been lying to you for years about money while you worked yourself to exhaustion to support them, would you stay silent? Or would you burn it all down? I posted it on Medium at 6:47 a.m. Then I went to work. By lunch, it had 1,200 views. By dinner, 15,000. By the end of the week, it had been shared by major platforms with followings in the hundreds of thousands. The comments section exploded. People shared their own stories of family financial abuse. Someone started a subreddit. A podcast reached out for an interview. And then my phone started ringing. The first call came from Mark. Not "Are you okay?" but "What the fuck did you do?" Told the truth, I said. You're making us look like monsters. People at the hospital are asking me about it. Someone printed out your blog and left it on my car. Did you steal from me? I didn't, that's not, Mom handled the insurance, not me. But you're going to destroy our family over money? You already did that. I'm just making sure everyone knows. He hung up. Emma called next, then Lily, then Mom. I didn't answer. I let them leave voicemails I saved like evidence. Mom's message was predictable: Sarah, people are sending me this story. I hope you're not involved in anything that makes our family look bad. We need to talk. Not "I'm sorry." Not "I was wrong." Just concern about appearances. But the calls that mattered came from somewhere else. Rachel, my manager, pulled me aside. Hayes, I read something online that sounded familiar. If that was you, you should know, corporate called. They want to talk to you about the Leadership Academy. Full ride, management track, tuition reimbursement. 2 days later, a lawyer called. Someone had seen my blog and wanted to know if I'd consider filing suit against my mother for the insurance money. You have documentation. The will shows intent. This is textbook executor misconduct. And then the message that changed everything: Lily, texting at 2 a.m. I need to tell you something. Mom didn't just hide the insurance money from you. She told Mark, Emma, and me that you didn't want any of it. That you said you were fine at the factory and wanted us to have your share. We believed her. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. 3 weeks after the blog exploded, my siblings ambushed me. I came home from my shift to find all 3 of them sitting in my apartment parking lot. Lily must have given them my address. We need to talk, Mark said. No. Sarah, this is getting out of control, Emma cut in. Mom's church asked her to step down from the women's group. People are talking. Dad's memory is being dragged through this. Dad's memory? I laughed, sharp and bitter. Dad left me money that Mom stole. Don't weaponize him. It wasn't stealing, Mark said carefully. She was executor. She made decisions. She lied. To all of us. She told you I didn't want the money, and she let me believe we were broke while I worked myself sick to pay a mortgage that was already paid off. Silence. Finally, Lily spoke, her voice small. What do you want, Sarah? Money? An apology? For us to choose between you and Mom? What's the endgame here? I looked at her, at all of them, and felt a strange calm settle over me. I want you to stop acting like I'm the villain for refusing to pretend anymore. I want Mom to admit what she did. And I want every single dollar I put toward that house paid back, with interest. That's extortion, Mark said. No, I replied. That's consequences. You three got your lives paid for with Dad's insurance and my overtime. I want what I'm owed. Emma stood. You've changed, Sarah. You used to care about family. I still do. I just finally realized you don't. They left. Lily stayed behind for a moment, tears streaming down her face. I voted for you, she whispered. In that hallway where we used to sit as kids. I always thought you were the bravest one. I still do. But I don't know how to stand up to her. Then learn, I said. Before you become her. I filed suit against my mother 6 weeks later. The lawyer was confident: executor misconduct, breach of fiduciary duty, unjust enrichment. The will shows clear intent to divide the insurance 4 ways. Her misrepresentation to your siblings and financial exploitation of you makes this an easy case. It wasn't easy. Nothing about it was easy. Mom hired a lawyer who tried to paint me as vindictive, mentally unstable, and motivated by greed. They dug up my social media, my blog posts, my employment history. They tried to argue that I'd voluntarily contributed to household expenses. But I had documentation. Texts where Mom promised to pay me back soon. Emails where she confirmed the mortgage was still underwater months after the insurance payout. The original will Dad had filed. The case took 8 months. During that time, Mom stopped speaking to me entirely. Mark and Emma publicly sided with Mom. Lily went silent, no calls, no texts. My blog readership grew to over 100,000 followers. I was promoted to shift supervisor at the factory. I was accepted into the Leadership Academy. The settlement came through on a gray Tuesday in November. Mom agreed to pay me $85,000, my share of the insurance, plus the mortgage payments I'd made after the payout, minus legal fees. No admission of wrongdoing. No apology. Just a check and a gag order clause I refused to sign. I'm not staying silent, I told my lawyer. That's the whole point. We went to trial on the gag order alone. The judge ruled in my favor. Ms. Hayes has a First Amendment right to discuss her own lived experience. The defendant cannot purchase her silence. The day the ruling came through, I published one final blog post. What Revenge Actually Costs, a follow-up to Successful Kids Only. A lot of you have asked me if it was worth it, burning my family to the ground over money and pride. Let me be clear, I didn't do this for revenge. I did it because staying silent was killing me. Here's what I gained. $85,000 that was rightfully mine. A career I'm proud of, built on my own terms. A community of people who see me for who I am, not who my mother wanted me to be. The knowledge that I'm not crazy, I'm not worthless, and I'm not alone. Here's what it cost. My relationship with my mother, though I'm starting to think that was already gone. My siblings' respect, or maybe I just finally see they never had any for me. The fantasy of a perfect family that was never real to begin with. Countless nights wondering if I'm the villain in someone else's story. Was it worth it? Ask me on my good days, and I'll say yes. Ask me on the bad days, and I'll tell you freedom always costs something. But here's what I know for sure. I'd rather be free and lonely than loved on the condition that I stay small. To everyone who shared their stories with me, thank you. You saved me as much as I hope I helped save you. To my family, if you're reading this, I hope someday you understand. But I'm done waiting for that day. I'm building something new now. And you're not invited. 18 months later, Lily called. I'm getting married, she said, her voice shaking. And I want you there. Does Mom know you're inviting me? Mom's not coming. I froze. What? I told her she's not welcome unless she apologizes to you. She refused. So I uninvited her. Lily took a shaky breath. Mark and Emma are furious. They're not coming either. But I don't care. You're my sister. And I'm done pretending what she did to you was okay. The wedding was small. Just Lily, her fiancé, a handful of friends, and me. During her vows, Lily said something that broke me. I promise to choose you, every single day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because love isn't about obligation. It's about showing up for the people who matter, not because you have to, but because you can't imagine a world where you don't. She looked at me when she said it. At the reception, we sat on the venue's back porch, watching the sunset. Do you think she'll ever apologize? Lily asked. No, I said honestly. Because that would mean admitting she was wrong. And Mom doesn't do that. Are you okay with that? I thought about it, really thought about it. I'm getting there. Some days are harder than others. But I don't need her apology anymore to know I was right. Lily squeezed my hand. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I need you to hear it. I'm proud of you for refusing to disappear. That night, I updated my blog one last time. Today my baby sister got married, and she chose me over our mother. This isn't the revenge I planned. It's something better. It's proof that sometimes the family you build is stronger than the family you're born into. And it's proof that standing up for yourself doesn't make you the villain. It makes you free. Epilogue, 3 years later. I'm 28 now. I'm the operations manager at Peterson's, overseeing 3 facilities across Ohio. I still wear steel-toed boots. I still smell like freezer burn some days. And I've never been prouder of my work. My blog became a book, Successful Kids Only, Breaking Free from Family Obligation. It hit the New York Times bestseller list. The royalties paid off my student loans from the Leadership Academy and funded a scholarship for factory workers' kids pursuing technical degrees. Mom sent me a copy of the book in the mail with a note. I hope you're happy now that you've destroyed our family's reputation. I sent it back with a note of my own. I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped pretending it wasn't already broken. Mark and Emma still don't speak to me. I've made peace with that. Lily and I have dinner every Sunday. She's a public defender now, dropped out of corporate law to do something that actually matters, she says. She's happier than I've ever seen her. And me? I'm still building something new. Last week, a young woman approached me after a speaking event. She had calloused hands and nervous eyes, and she told me she'd been working night shifts at a warehouse to support her family while her siblings went to college. They act like I'm the failure, she whispered. Like I'm worthless because I didn't get a degree. I looked her in the eye and said, "You're not worthless. You're the backbone. And someday, when you're ready, you're allowed to stop carrying them." She cried. So did I. Because here's what I learned, revenge isn't about making people suffer. It's about refusing to suffer in silence. It's about choosing yourself, even when everyone you love tells you you're wrong. It's about building a life so full of purpose that their approval stops mattering. I still wear steel-toed boots. I still clock in. I still get grease under my nails. But I no longer hear my mother's voice when I look in the mirror. I hear my own. And it's enough. So let me ask you this, if you were standing where I am now, With a family that wants you to shrink so they can shine, would you give them what they're asking for and call it peace? Or would you choose your own freedom, knowing it might cost you everything? I chose freedom. And I'd do it again.